Well, hello everyone. Welcome back to the Porter Says podcast. My name is Heath, if you didn't already know that. Thank you so much for tuning in. Sorry I'm getting this episode and review late to you. You know, with Christmas just being last week, I felt the need to take a little very tiny break of filming an episode. So, sorry about that. I wanted to wish you a very belated Merry Christmas, and if I don't upload on New Year's Eve, which I'm hoping to get this episode maybe tomorrow or even New Year's Eve, hopefully, Happy New Year as well. In this one, of course, I'm going to be discussing Percy Jackson and the Olympians Season 2, Episode 4, Clarice Blows Up Everything. As usual, I took some notes down while watching the episode. This was actually on Christmas Eve, so it was a very interesting way to spend Christmas Eve watching Percy Jackson. Let's start off with how the episode begins, which starts off with Annabeth down in a kind of like a sewer-like area, and she finds something from her past. We get a flashback with Luke and Annabeth, so we get to see a younger version of Annabeth, which is very, very cool. The actress did a really good job, and to my knowledge, I do believe that the actress playing young Annabeth is actually the cousin of Leah Jeffries, who plays Annabeth in the show. She has a protection charm, which I found quite interesting. I don't fully remember that in the book. I'm guessing it is. And we get our first appearance of Thalia, or Talia. First full appearance of her in this flashback, which is great. It's good to see her. I don't really remember if they showed her that much in the trailer, or trailers, but that's probably a good thing. We got Grover. Finally, he made an appearance. Only in the flashbacks, of course, but nonetheless, it was really cool to see him again because we didn't get him in episode 3. So we get the scene on the beach with Percy and Tyson. Another really touching scene between them. Really great. And then we get Clarice. She comes onto this beach to confront Percy to, give her the coordinates to the Sea of Monsters, since in the last one she had the wrong numbers and coordinates. We get a fight. The fight that they have been pretty much kind of like showing and building up in the trailers for this season, we finally get this fight. And I really do like that it is essentially kind of shot for shot in a way of the fight between Percy and Ares at the end of season 1, or in the last episode of season 1. That was great, and because he says the exact same thing. He's like, single combat, one-on-one, the same way I beat your dad. And the fight's actually really well done. Could have been a little bit longer. That is a problem I do have with these 2 seasons so far, is that the combat fights aren't as long as they should be. And it's not like the biggest issue in the world. Like it's just maybe a personal thing I would like to see. But nonetheless, great fight, well choreographed, really cool, shot well, got another flashback. And this is quite interesting, and again, I don't remember if this was in the novel, is that Luke and Thalia actually never actually really wanted to go to Camp Half-Blood because of the issues they have with their gods and with their god parents, I should say. I was thinking, then why did you end up going? Well, the reason why, because, Luke was like, oh, well, if I go into this, I can try and kind of manipulate people and see if I can get everyone on my side and go against the gods. Okay, so I wrote down, it's like, well, no wonder why Annabeth doesn't really trust Tyson. Is that because Thalia was actually murdered by them? And speaking of Thalia, as I said, I'm really liking the portrayal of her so far. I think she's a complete badass and much better than what we got in the film, which we only saw her character twice, once in the flashback at the beginning of the movie, and at the end of the film. Oh, wait, no, I'm so sorry. No, Furies show up. That's how she dies. I'm just going based off what they did in the film. My bad. Yeah, so Furies are actually the one that come to get her, I believe. Someone... Yeah, okay. Yeah, so it's Furies who actually kill her. I thought it was always the Cyclops, just based off what I saw in the film. And also, I believe in the book, I thought it was always Cyclopses, but maybe it was a mix of Furies and Cyclopses. I don't know. I do really like the scenes on the Iron Claude between, Annabeth, Clarice, Percy, and Tyson to a certain extent. I like seeing more of the soldiers, which aren't really, not all of them are soldiers. I don't know if I mentioned that in the last review, is that there's one guy who worked at Blockbuster, there is a Confederate soldier there. It's a whole mix of different things. We got our first sea monster, which was awesome. I really like that sequence a lot. There's a scene where Percy and Clarice are having a bit of a chat, which I really liked. It kind of shows that they may not, and Clarice does actually say, like, look, we're not friends. But it goes to show that they can get along if they really do work together. In my opinion, I don't know how many of you are going to agree on this, maybe, is that this episode visually was stunning. It was beautiful to look at. Pretty much like towards the end of the episode, we get the whole sequence that you've also been seeing in the trailer, where Percy is standing on the ship, and he's ready to go against this giant sea monster that has pretty much taken everybody in this massive tornado or something. They're flying off the ship, and he's standing there, and he's using his powers. He's ready to go, and it's such a cool effect. You see his eyes kind of glow a little bit, and I was like, oh my god, we're going to get some really cool stuff. Like, what's going to happen? And the episode ends. I'm like, are you fucking serious? Like, what? I couldn't get over it. I was like, I wanted a bit more. Funny thing is, despite this episode being not as long as it should be, it didn't feel that rushed to me. It felt like it took its time with a lot of the scenes and stuff like that. If I had like little issues here and there, yeah, obviously I wanted the fight between Percy and Clarice, essentially a rematch from season 1. I wanted that to be a little bit longer. Wish we got a little bit more Grover, personally, besides just the flashbacks. Overall, this episode of season 2 was great. Really liked it. Probably, I'd have to think about it maybe, but this might be my favorite episode of the season so far. Pretty much enjoyed a lot of stuff about it. I enjoyed all the character interactions. I enjoyed, some of the action sequences we got. I really liked the flashbacks. That's gonna wrap it up for this episode. I hope you enjoyed. Now, do check in the description of this is that a friend of mine and I kind of updated my website that we got up and running, like, oh god, over a year ago or something like that. I don't even remember now. It was a good while ago. Thought I'd make a quick mention of this. So if you want to go check that out, the website pretty much gives you all my links to everywhere, to Instagram, TikTok, Patreon, Letterboxd, Serialized, which is basically like a TV show version of Letterboxd. It shows my merch site, which has no merch on it, but I'm working on that. So once I get that up and going and finally do something about that, then I'll let you guys know, and yeah, maybe some merch might be coming your way next year. Yeah, as I said, let me know down below what you thought of this episode, and is it your favorite episode of the season so far, and also what are you thinking of season 2 overall. I will catch you guys in the next one. Happy New Year, if this doesn't come out by New Year's Eve, whatever. If it does, yeah, Happy New Year, and take care.